You may have seen my 56 Chevrolet that I hauled in that was rotten, real rotten, but real cheap. And you may not have wondered, will it run? Well, it's got parked in 1989. I didn't get much of a story because the last owner has deceased. And there's no story on this car. Why did it get parked? I don't know. Did it blow up? What happened? How it turned over some? Let's just see what goes. But I don't want to waste money on a straight six. Let's cap our budget. $30. I will not spend more than $30 to see if this will run. Can we do it? Let's check it out. Let's find out. Yeah, I know a whole lot of people don't care about an old six-cylinder running or not. But maybe you do. I'm just curious to see if this will run since it hadn't run since 1989. I mean, maybe somebody ran it, but that's the last registration that was on it. I don't have one of Uncle Tony's little squirt bottles. I don't feel like going to Dollar General, but when you do bare brakes on something, they give you this little syringe, and this kind of works for putting gas in. Next time I'm at Dollar General, I'll get a good old-fashioned Uncle Tony squirt bottle, though, so I can squirt gas and stuff. I swear that seems like his go-to tool. And maybe we should follow suit. That's a pretty slick idea. But then again, I'm not really much of a carburetor guy. Well, we'll see if that gas... We'll see if that frees things up. If that dried out accelerator pump will try to come back to life or not. Time will tell. So, I built some battery cables. Put those on away from the screen. I just happen to keep welding cable laying around. That's what I use for battery cables on all my projects. And this isn't gonna... And I fixed the starter. I think I might have had some footage on that. Maybe I'll throw that in here, but I had to put the armature on the lathe. I didn't video that. So I cleaned the armature on the lathe. And then the brushes were good, so they stayed. And I put a new solenoid on. Solenoid was destroyed. I tried to fix it. But no. Alright. Strong battery. Get my jumper starter ordeal here. Let's see what this does for us. Not a thing. Well, that's cute. Is my battery dead? There. Oh, look at there. The last time it was running, it was a little rich. Maybe that's just the way an old carburetor ran back in the day. It's got some compression. Yeah, I grabbed a can of junk that was half empty. That's great. the points are popping off. They've been hot. Oh, I don't know if you heard it. That's jumping that giant gap. Hear it? So that's working. So but it's not jumping the gap now. There's smoke coming from in there. Yeah, there's no spark unless I do this. What in the world's going on with that? Maybe the points need a little adjusting. Now they're not busting. Adjusted the points and I got something. Didn't even use a matchbook cover like Dad always told me to use. I just stuff and puff. Let's see what we get now. Do we get it? We got a little fire coming out of the coil when the points are busted. Now, I'll call it busted. I don't know what you call it. I ain't messed with points in so long. I'm so deep in EFI these days. Carburetors and all this other junk is a thing of the past for me. All right. Is there any possibility this thing will fire off? Huh. Maybe it wants a little more gas. It's getting a little better vacuum seal. Or maybe I've flooded the snot out of it. But I am getting the plugs to... Theoretically, I'm getting the plugs to fire off. Let's just take this to the other side and see what happens when I give it some open throttle treatment. Maybe it wants a little more fuel. Or maybe I've flooded it. I don't know. How much does it want? We'll just flood the snot out of it. Nah. That ain't doing it. Let's pull a spark plug and see if the spark's making it to the cap. God knows how I got it that far. Maybe I gotta clean the cap and rotor. I definitely don't want to spend any money on this mess. Yeah, I got it right to the plug. And the plugs ain't even wet. So, let's be a smart aleck and just shoot some gas in a cylinder direct from the syringe. Yeah, it's direct injection. Ain't even a hope of this thing running. That is a slow cranking son of a gun. But every 6-cylinder I had always was slow cranking. I swear it sounds like it's trying, but the throttle's starting to work. It's freeing itself up. Right. Oh, the fender's starting to get hot. Nice. Yeah, so I went down to Dollar General after I resisted so long. A whole 1/8 of a mile away. I got my little gas squirter. And we got some oil to shoot down in here. So, we'll just oil this booger up. Yeah, and I'm charging the battery too. Oh, the fender's hot. Got a piece of cardboard I can lay over it. That's kind of nice. Oh yeah, I can handle that. The horn just fell. Somebody tried to start parting this car out. I stopped them. Probably wasn't the smartest. Plugs are dry. It's not getting fuel to them. I dumped enough gas down the throttle body, the carburetor. I'm so not used to saying carburetor anymore. So that brings me to the point. Yeah, there's just no gas on there. And I dumped some down there. But maybe you like to listen to me babble a little bit. So I was thinking about how technology's moved so far in a relatively short amount of time. So I was just thinking about people I know in my life. And let's go back pretty far. Let's go back to my great-grandfather. He was a farmer. And what did he see? He was around 1800s, end of the 1800s, but the 1800s nonetheless. So what was he farming with? Well, my grandfather, I got told that he was the first one around his area that actually had a tractor instead of mules, horses. Well, he had mules, but he had tractors, or a tractor. And so my great-grandfather was out there with mules, or whatever livestock they used to pull plows and such. So there wasn't a whole lot of conveniences. So let's take, for instance, he looked up in the sky. He saw clouds. Maybe. I mean, when he's a little boy, maybe he saw a hot air balloon every now and then. And then he lived a good long life. I'd say he was close to 100 when he passed. So he passed in the late 80s. I can't remember exactly when anymore. But I knew him. I was a little kid and I knew him. I visited with him. He saw, from hot air balloons, he saw biplanes and Orville Wilbur Wright in the news. And when before he died, he saw jet aircraft flying over top of his farm. He went from horse to primitive car to this type of car, and then in the end, he was driving around fuel-injected cars in the late 80s. That's a whole lot of change. All right, let's spin it over and see. We got oil in it now. Oil down the cylinder holes. Yeah, it spins good. It wants to. All right, as I was saying, for my phone, camera, phone, blah, 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 before it let loose, hadn't been a whole lot of technological advancement since I was born. But my great-grandfather saw a lot. Let's see if it'll start. Get them starting fluid down in it. It wants to. Throttle's stuck nice. It's trying. It is trying. Whoa, she's trying so hard. We'll have this starter about 500 degrees here in a little bit. It's trying. Maybe it wants a little regular gasoline down in with it. It's grumpy. It's so close. If that starter will just live through this, it might run. Yeah, well, the starter said no, I'm done. Or the gosh, it's so close. Come on. It's trying. It's trying so hard. It's so close. But something over there is making a vacuum sound. This phone deal is gonna overheat soon. See, if I hold this wide open throttle, the throttle spring's done. I'm gonna try this one more time before I give up. And you know what? If it's a fail, it's a fail. I don't think that anybody, if I have this thing running like a watch, I don't think anybody's ever going to buy it. I just thought it'd be kind of fun to hear it run, since it hasn't run since '89. Well, that's the last registration. Now, did something happen to it to stop it from running back then? Is that why they parked it? I know they were elderly people and they've since passed. Maybe there's something strangely wrong. I don't know what could be wrong with this thing, to be honest. I've got good compression. I don't know what the compression number is, but it's good enough to try to run. I dumped so much fuel down in the throat of the carburetor, but the plugs still won't get wet. That's baffled me. I got good spark. I've triple, quadruple checked that. That's close. Maybe we'll just pour some more fuel down in it. It pulls my hand down in there good. Will it work? Not a chance.
It acts like it wants to.
We'll pull the plugs out and you'll see. They'll be dry as a bone. You saw me dump a pile of gas down in it.
Here, would it help if I kind of pour some of the gas now when
No,
I'm cranking?
because there's so much gas in there already. Until somebody can convince me that it's a good idea to make this run, I quit. I found out where the gas went. There it is, sitting in there. So I can put my wrench in there. Yep, it smells like good gas. But look at there, there's the intake port. Just dry. It's got vacuum. It's just not pulling it through. I don't get it. Somebody's sure to know the answer to this one. Did I ever find out why this won't run? Yeah, just the fact that it's not getting fuel to the cylinders. I poured so much fuel down the throat of this thing. It tried to fire on the little bit of fumes that came up from the manifold, but it never took off and went. There's probably some kind of a small vacuum leak or something just not letting it work, or the fact that maybe it doesn't like working off of bottled fuel. Of course it should. Well, there's something in there that's wrong, and I got the puddle of fuel in the intake manifold and the plenum. I've got dry ports. I got so many other things to do than to play with the 6-cylinder to make it run. So I think this would be time to just abandon this project, because as a non-running straight 6, it's not froze up. I can't get anything for it. I get less than, if I sell it to somebody, it'll take me forever to sell it, and then it'll go for less than scrap. So if I have it running perfect, it's worth the exact same. It's just something nobody wants. But wait, there's more. I got goo coming out of the fuel pump, so it's kind of trying to work. But look at that. Is that son of a gun smooth or what? And there's no smoke coming out of the tail of this thing. I let it run out of gas. It's just got a carburetor full of fuel. They're pretty fuel efficient, I guess. I don't know what I was having all the troubles with earlier. I'll be darned. barely any fuel in this thing. Now I'll just go ahead and put more in the bowl. Let it keep going. Nope, I guess I won't. Oh, that's enough. I guess it's a winner. Rebuild the carburetor. Let it rip. It'd get a little warm now, but maybe I need to put the radiator in because it's starting to steam what's left in it out. Yeah, let's go ahead and kill it. Yeah, she's a little warm. That's steamy. Guess I'll put the radiator back in it. Here's some kind of coolant dripping out. Guy was parting it out, so he already cut the hoses and took the radiator out. Said it held water. So I'm still cutting this car up. But it's fun. It's fun to get this thing running. Everybody said old 600 probably would run, but I had my doubts. I guess most of my doubts are coming from the fact of I didn't care. Just owned 6 that I can't sell. But it sure is a good running 6, so if anybody needs a 6, I'm saying it's a good one. So far, I'm going to rebuild the carburetor, but my $30 budget is blown. This is what I got for 30 bucks, including a little bit of gas. So, throw me some, what should I do with this thing in the comments other than the obvious, I'm gonna cut it up and part it out. That's a given. But before I do that, what you got on your minds? So now the question may be, what was it that fixed that car to make it run? It must have been a tiny vacuum leak because I pulled that intake manifold off. Intake manifold, exhaust manifold are together. I pulled that off, saw that the intake manifold was wet, but the ports for the head were dry. The gasket was still good. Strange gaskets on those. I bolted it back up. It was all dried out by that point because I was sitting, I had dinner, and I went ahead and bolted it back up and tightened it down and had a stronger vacuum. And I decided to let the fuel this time go through the carburetor mostly. You know, fill the bowl through the vent, and it just magically fired up. So I think $28 was all that got spent this weekend. So is this worth a carburetor kit now? Yeah. Is it worth a fuel pump? Yeah, maybe. Maybe. I don't know what to do with this car next. But hey, help me out and hit that like and subscribe for me, and comment and tell me how stupid this project is, or if you'd want to do it or whatever. And Mike and John, hey, you kept keeping me all focused on this one. You kept telling me it'll work, keep going. I was ready to give up 25 times. So thanks to you guys. Appreciate you keeping me on target. All right, I'm out here for now. We'll see you next time. Bye.